Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Kick a Ball podcast. Today we've got very special guests, TJ Boston and Cody Kahoali, the brothers of, really, I guess there's no like one thing that could put you guys into a box in, which is fantastic in terms of just all of your playing ability, the kinds of experiences that you all have had. We had to work around a footy tournament, I think, from Boston to try to make sure that we had everything together, and then, like me coming down a little sick and everything else. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get into the episode soon enough. But TJ, Boston, Cody, it's good to see all you guys, and thanks for wanting to come on for an interview.
Yeah, of course, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Of course. So I guess my first question is just to ask how it's going for each of the three of you. We'll go Cody, Boston, and then TJ first, just because that's how I'm seeing it. Then, we'll alternate, go back in between. But, my first question for all of you is, how's everything going, and what's the kind of football and soccer that you're all playing right now for the summer?
Yeah, it's all going great right now. I'm playing for Bayside MLS next, and I'm going into being a U17 next year. So yeah, it's doing pretty good right now.
Boston, what are you up to?
Yeah, it's been good. Like summer, like we were just doing like trainings with each other. And then after we're going to Kentucky to drive back TJ, and then I'm going to Orlando for futsal nationals, and then it's just preseason again.
Right. Very nice. And TJ, I know you got a big step coming up with Louisville and just these last couple of days before you're heading out. What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice everybody's packing up around the house to drive back. They don't really get to visit too often, so it's nice. But yeah, no, obviously playing at the University of Louisville right now, it's been amazing. Kind of just staying sharp over the summer, training with my brothers, playing with a couple teams. Um, but honestly, just ready to get back down there. So I'm super excited because like I said, they don't get to visit too often, so Um, yeah, it's gonna be great. So
Huge.
excited for the fall.
I know you're taking a big step as well in terms of just the leadership around that Louisville locker room. You're going into your sophomore year with this kind of program. That's something that's huge for your own development, but also what the program is putting on you. How are you just, taking it really, really with the role that you've taken on with Louisville so far?
Yeah, for me, honestly, I love when things are put on my shoulders just to try to deal with things, try to help the team because I've always kind of found myself like trying to be a problem solver on the field. And I think naturally just like people see that and they wanna, they want to try to solve stuff together. So um but yeah, like you said, going into my sophomore year, it's crazy. A year ago from now, I never would have thought, any of this would happen, but it's a great environment, great players around me. So, just they help me push me every day. So I can't really ask for more, to be honest. I just got to show up and work hard. That's all I got to do.
And Cody, you're getting your strides in with MLS next, and everything else that's been to come. I know there's been a time with the Hawaiian national team that was not too long ago for you as well. Tell me a little bit about really the last few months or however long that this goes back, just so we could get a little bit more background on yourself.
Yeah, sorry. Over the past few months, like I've been playing a lot of soccer, and it's been really good for my development. I feel like with the Hawaiian national team, I went out. It was really good. A lot of good games, a lot of good playing, and I feel like it really helps me, like especially with like not just my game sense, but also like a sense of leadership too, because I got to play with people that I haven't yet, and it kind of just helped me being able to connect with different play styles and stuff like that. So it really did help me. And then with MLS Next, obviously, season's over now, but over the season, the whole team has developed really good, and I'm looking forward for next season. So
Huge. And Boston, tell us a little bit about, the kind of play style that you have, the position that you play, and what your development has looked like. How you think you've gotten better as a player lately. I'm just really curious on that remark. But then you've also got two fantastic older brothers that play really at the highest levels that they can in their respective sport in America. I mean, tell me, how it's like watching those guys and how maybe you try to help yourself out a little bit, just trying to take bits and pieces from TJ and Cody.
So I play like the 10, but I kind of like try and get the ball more, like dropping down and trying to receive in pockets. And then I feel like I'm really good technically, like dribbling out of tight spaces and stuff like that. And I've learned a lot from TJ, especially because he plays like my position. And he like we always do like me, Cody, and TJ always do these like small technical trainings that just like help me with like turning and like scanning and stuff like that. So it's like always been good. Like we make like IDPs pretty much like like Cody as a center back, like finding the 10, and then TJ more of like a 6 now. Like me and him just like combining in the midfield to get out of like a tight space. So I think that's like a really good like session for us.
Very nice. And I'll ask you one more thing too before I bring it off to your brothers, but tell me about your first love in soccer. How did you first fall in love with a sport that you've been surrounded by, but at the level where you want to be able to pursue this for as long as you can?
Like I started when I was like 2 years old. Like I was just always at the field with like TJ and like Cody, just like kicking about with them.
Right.
And then like once I started to be like 3 or 4, like I got into my first team playing like 3 years up, and like it was just like a great time by then.
Huge. That's fantastic. And then, I mean, obviously with TJ and Cody, you boys having a lot to just work through in terms of just constantly developing to try to make yourself the best player that you can be. I want to ask you guys to just give us a little bit of a plug on in terms of your position, the kind of style that you play, and maybe some things that you've worked on in the past that you think have become really your primary skills. Cody, I'll go to you first, and then I'll flip to TJ.
Yeah, so I mainly play the center back, but I've also played, left back, center mid. I feel like my strengths is, like playing through lines, my communication, my leadership, my heart. Like I love to work hard, and I think like some of those things have really become my primary skills because I've just been surrounded by them for so long.
And TJ, what did that look like for you?
Yeah, for me, it's honestly very good because I can play pretty much, I mean, not pretty much anywhere, but I'm very versatile and that's been a big factor of mine, been able to help me throughout my career because um, realistically, the coach at the end of the day is what makes the decision. So you just got to be very coachable and be able to adapt to certain play styles, different positions. So I just found myself, honestly, at the beginning, freshman season, I was just playing, whatever I needed to do to play, and now I'm more of like a six holding mid, kind of dictate the tempo of the game, break up play, box to box, really fit, covering ground, making tackles. It's kind of my play style a little bit more comfortably. So it's been really good because like I said, my first year was, just playing anywhere I needed to, anywhere the team needed me. Whereas this season it's more of like a distinct role for me. So I have a very, very honed in focus on what I got to do and my specifics for my position. So it works out well for sure. So
Yeah, and that just makes it easier for you to be able to talk to the right people in terms of what are the skills that you need to develop to really be the best six that you can, or the best this kind of player that you want to be, while adding certain other skills. It just proves to your benefit so much more.
exactly, yeah, and any questions is good questions because all my coaches they're great. They give feedback day in and day out with what people got to do. So, like I said, as long as you're coachable, listening to what they're saying and try to apply it, then what more can you do, you know?
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask a bit more of a broader question. I'm going to ask this to Cody. So I'm putting a lot of responsibility on you, man. But I mean, tell us about, roughly the story in terms of getting all of you guys really invested in soccer. What were really the first memories for each of you? Maybe you don't know TJ's, but from really just the general scope of how you guys have all had really this huge high level commitment to the sport for really years through each of your lives. I mean, tell us about the the Kahoala family legacy in soccer?
Yeah, so, like Boston said, he's been around the field a whole lot with me and TJ, and it was similar for me, from a young age. I was always at the field when TJ was playing games and stuff. I started playing in Kentucky, it's where we lived when I was born, and then we moved to here to Massachusetts, and I played with the Bolts for, most of my time here, and then I moved to Bayside at U15. But I mean, the legacy, like you said, it goes way back because my mom played soccer at the University of Louisville too. So, really throughout all of our lives, like soccer's just been a huge part of it. So there's nothing you can really do to get away from it. So just why not play it? Why not be a part of it?
Yeah, it's just continuing to add to the longer line of what you guys have already established, and you're surrounding it. So it's
Yeah.
makes sense that you guys have fully embraced that at 100% in each of your lanes. So Cody, I not Cody, TJ, I gotta ask you though too. Your mom having played at Louisville, did that affect the decision to to be a Cardinal yourself? I know it's an ACC school and you really can't get much better in terms of college soccer, but tell me about the decision in terms of committing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was, one of my dream schools just because growing up, like
Right.
on the house, like just stories, like all that stuff. It's always been in the back of my mind. Um, and to be honest, one of the best parts about just my commitment process and ending up where I'm at, landing there was that it wasn't really too much of a sway from my parents. Like it kind of just felt natural. Like, it wasn't one of those situations where I felt like any obligations to go there or anything like that because of them. Like it was just, and that's why it was so awesome. It was all just out of the commitment process, like natural, just love the people, the coaches and the facilities, like just everything. So that's what made it even more special. That's why I love it there so much.
Huge. And I mean, Cody in Boston, I mean, I'll ask Boston this first and then the same question I'll go to Cody. But, um, when you look at TJ who's playing college soccer and you just see other routes of, people who maybe work their way through an academy for most of the year and maybe don't go to college. Has the college soccer route been something that you guys have considered? And you guys could go as far into that question as you want. I don't want to pull any more information out of you with that kind of stuff because that's at the end of the day both your private and decisions of what you guys want to do. But Boston, maybe give me a headset in terms of where you want to be over the next couple of years, and then Cody, if you want to answer that question as well, I'd be happy to hear your response as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like playing at like an MLS academy right now, like the idea of pro is like the ultimate goal, but college soccer is just like one of the best things you can do as like coming in like a young player, like trying to get to the highest level, which is pro. But like to get to that big step of being pro, like one of the steps might be like going to college and then trying to get drafted from there.
Sure.
So it's a big goal to go pro, but like college is very appealing.
And Cody, how have you felt about this transition? I mean, you're a young dude. I'm sure you've got some kind of college interaction going on. I mean, what is that? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, as an incoming junior, like the process of, reaching out, getting some responses, it's all started to just come into my life naturally. And I think that playing in college is like definitely like the next step for me. But, always like Boston said, like professional is definitely the goal. But college is it's a really good appeal. Like I really like the idea of it. So
Huge. Yeah, it's something that is, I mean, I'll always be a big proponent of it. I mean, I love interviewing the college guys and everything else, but it's something that I do think, helps develop as a person, but you also get a whole other different skill set in terms of coaches and experience that you guys are able to learn off of certain things. So, but again, I'm a little biased because I've been around it for a little while, but I'll always talk highly about the college game, and I'm sure TJ always will as well.
Yeah.
So Cody, I mean, ultimately why or ultimately how this interview came apart was um because we all, followed each other on Instagram, we kept up on certain things, but I saw you posted about the U17 Hawaiian national team, and it was something that I hadn't really become so educated on, because I didn't realize there was a Hawaiian national team. It was just certain perspective that I had, and so I want to ask you guys, how did you know that there was this kind of national team that you guys all would have, the blood to be able to represent, but also coming into contact with it, coming to know the kinds of people who run it. And any one of you guys can jump in and talk about the Federation as well. But I'm just curious from your perspective what these interactions were first like.
All right, yeah. So at first they had reached out to TJ actually to play for the U23 team. And then, from there, he had connected them with me. They had like scouted me too through like emails and Zoom calls. I sent them a few highlight videos. But yeah, it all started with, TJ. They had asked him to play for the U23 team. He couldn't because he had to go back for preseason. But then through that, I just got connected with them, and then we had a few chats, like sent him some game film, and like it all just kind of built up from there.
And it's just something that seems like, I mean, I've talked with Hezi a lot actually since we first came in contact, and I mean he's told me a lot about just the team in general, a lot of things that have come together. But I see you're wearing the Hawaiian national team shirt, by the way, with the Kings Hawaiian sponsor. I mean, it's a dope look too, by the way. Like it's just something that's really, really cool.
Yeah, and like I gotta say, like Hezi was a really big part of the trip and everything too. Like he really like bonded with all the kids there too. He was a big part of the team, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, TJ, I know this was something that they contacted you about initially. I mean, that's I can't even imagine the kinds of scouting initiatives that had to go on behind the scenes. Like, you not you guys are living in Boston right now and not quite being on the islands, and then them still finding you from however contacts had, it was weaving through this or that or whatever, knowing that you guys were of Hawaiian blood and living in Boston to bring you guys in. I mean. I can only imagine what that first contact, that first email was like for you.
Yeah, honestly, I was gonna say the same thing. It's kind of crazy because I mean, literally across the country. Like
Right.
yeah, it's crazy. So, um, but it was a surreal moment, honestly, when I had a couple phone calls at the start, a couple just back and forth texts, trying to schedule things, trying to make it work. And eventually they said, we're not going to invite you out to training camp just because we understand you have a lot of other things going on. It's across the country, but we'd love to have you for the games when we do end up traveling and playing these other independent nations. So it was honestly just it was amazing. But like Cody said, unfortunately, it wasn't able to work out. I had to go back to preseason to Louisville. So, but obviously, we're still in contact with all of them. They loved Cody when he was down there. So hopefully I can step up into his shoes because he did really well down there. So, um, hopefully it works out for me one day too. But yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, I hope so as well. And I know they've got big plans in the future, and I'd be hard pressed to think that you guys aren't a part of those plans. Boston, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, you're seeing this from a different angle with your brothers having this kind of contact with these teams. I mean, do you think you'd want to represent the Hawaiian national team, in due time? I mean, I gotta imagine that they're gonna be hitting you up pretty soon.
Yeah, like it's really like it's like a really cool program. Like they're playing like other independent nations and stuff like that.
Right.
It's like really cool. Like it'd be really fun to go down there and like showcase my like skills and stuff like that.
Very nice. So, Cody, you having been a part of a lot of these matches, I mean, someone that sounds like has really been a star in terms of the kinds of performances that you've been able to put together and the impact that you guys have. But, what do you say to someone? How would you explain to someone that you play for the Hawaiian national team when the U.S. recognizes it as the 50th state, when you're still able to play in the CONIFA against other independent nations from FIFA? How do you go about explaining to someone like myself who, 2 months ago didn't know, really the history of, what this really looks like?
Yeah, so at first when people hear it, they're a little confused, maybe a little bit like judgmental because it's a state. Like they're like, how can I have a national team? But so Hawaiian football, it's recognized through Kana FA, like you said, and I usually tell them like the Hawaiian team is just like it's trying to be separate from the U.S. in terms of soccer. So it's trying to like um, basically just be its own nation and be recognized
Hmm.
just by itself away from a part of the US. And they're just playing other independent nations right now, trying to build up to, being fully recognized as like a greater part of soccer.
Right. So, I mean, I'll get an opinion from maybe each of you guys, but what do you think is going to be a big step in terms of just elevating the Hawaiian game, getting the top Hawaiian or native Hawaiian talent, really to be able to play on these kinds of matches, but also the outreach in terms of just getting people involved to know that this federation exists and there's a lot of good things that really can come out of it with more exposure and more top players that come through like you boys. Cody, I'll ask you first, then I'll go to TJ, and then Boston, I'll get your answer after TJ's.
Yeah, so I think what they're doing right now, like they're doing a really good job of, trying to get more attention and stuff.
Yeah.
They're playing other independent nations. What I went to, they're doing showcases playing, MLS Next, ECNL club teams. And, I'm really proud just to be a part of the team. And I think all the players and all the coaches, being there, just representing the Hawaiian Kingdom, like it's really getting more and more attention just like all the media, all the games that they're playing, it's really just dragging in more and more views.
Yeah. And I mean, I know too. I mean, I know Drip FC has done something for a lot of the shirts. It's not just me who thinks the shirts are cool and the training tops and the colors and everything else, but I mean, yeah, I agree. It's a lot to do with um, you know, getting the name out there. A lot of like you said, and you mentioned you play MLS Next and ECNL talent. You guys aren't just playing them. You guys are running the wheels off a lot of these teams too. And um, to my knowledge, they're in Northern California or Southern California. How does that work?
What do you mean? Like,
Yeah, like what are the kinds of academies that you guys are playing against?
so in when we went down to the NorCal showcase, we played three teams. We played Miami, or no, it was Santa Rosa FC, um, Davis Legacy, and Sac Republic. And I mean, we competed with all of them. We ended up tying one game, winning one game, and losing one game. But, all three games, it was really tight the entire time. And, you know, I know a couple of those teams are like seen as really good teams in ECNL and MLS next. And it was really good to see, a team that we've really never played any games before together. Like they played, I know a couple of the guys were at training camps and stuff, and then a few of them played with like some like pickup matches with them and stuff. But then there's a few of us that had never been with the team before, and it was really good to see, the whole team. We had really good chemistry for only playing for a little bit. And, by that third game, we all kind of understood what everyone needed, how everyone played, and it was really nice seeing it all come together.
I mean, I would have paid to have watched the Sac Republic Hawaii national team game. I mean, I think that sounds sick. I would have loved to get out to one of those before, but I digress. I appreciate you telling me a little bit more about this, but um, TJ, I'll get your thoughts. What do you think is going to be a huge thing? I'll go back to the original question of really getting the word out there about the Hawaiian national team and what the federation is building.
Yeah, first of all, I'd say thank you for taking the time to speak with us. I think this is, very important as well.
Right.
It's for exposure wise and everything like that. Um, but honestly, just the creation of the federation in general and, actually getting these kids out there, flying these kids and sometimes just, it's on the same island, but still, getting these kids together, playing other teams in the States, like having college coaches, come and watch, just the ability to see these kids play, sending emails, whatever it is, just the exposure piece in general, they're doing a very good job. And it's really nice to see because like you said, coming from, me, I'm already in college. I know how the recruiting process goes and
Mhm.
it's not an easy thing that, everybody just kind of gets the opportunity. So just giving those kids more opportunity and exposure in general is just it's great to see. So um, I think it's only up from here, to be honest. Like the steps they're taking, and you and Hezi communicating, just all these little things. It's been very well. So
I mean, and I'll tell you guys, I mean, I want to make sure that this is a kind of federation that can get the right talent to be able to come in and, I mean, only to further the kinds of levels and talent and groups, whether it's academies or other nations, to be able to play forward. I mean, I think there's really a lot here to, I mean, really to be able to represent a nation that has a complicated history in terms of the relations with the United States, and we don't have to get into a whole lot of that now. I mean, I think that's it's it's going to be crucial in terms of people on the outside to be able to learn a lot of this history. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be huge for what you guys are doing as really a big family separate from the Hawaiian Islands, like one of really the main groups from the mainland United States, really bringing a lot of this coverage, a lot of the top talent, into this federation. So you guys are really a huge, huge part of where this is going to go as well. I mean, I want to have the conversations with Hezi for as much as possible, but you guys are the ones that really are going to be able to bring this to the next stage. So, yeah, I thank all of you guys for that. So, Boston, I want to ask you though too, do you have any ideas as to what the Federation could do? Whether it's you calling, your certain friends to talk about the team or whatever else, what do you think that we could be doing better to get the Federation out there and make it more public to guys?
I think like especially this like from the interview, I feel like it would get out there more. Just like to get the name out there a lot more, and also just like keeping consistency, like keep bringing people out there, like not just like stop doing everything for like a few months, like just keep the consistency, keep like bring people out and like playing more showcases and stuff like that. I feel like it would be like get a lot of like attention towards us.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea in terms of a lot of it is going to be the outreach and just getting other people involved. So I really appreciate that, Boston. So, you know, I guess another thing that naturally comes with representing the Hawaiian Football Federation on the scale that I mean, that Cody has, and both TJ and Boston, you guys will more further. Um, it's got to be a huge source of pride to be able to be a native Hawaiian athlete. TJ, you at the college level, Cody, you at the national scale, and Boston, you being one of the upcoming talents. Um, I'll go oldest brother to youngest brother. So TJ, Cody, Boston, I'll get all your answers consecutively. But what does it mean to you to be a native Hawaiian athlete?
yeah, so for me, it's it's really just about representing culture and everything that comes with it, because at the end of the day, there's not too many out there. So it's honestly just it's a blessing, and it's crazy to see how far I've come to just kind of showcase and represent the genes, and kind of honestly every time I step out on the field, it's kind of like showing people that it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. It's really just about how hard you work, and what you can do with yourself, and it it's really a proud moment for me every time I step out there, and I have a bunch of people watching, lots of family that come to games, and um, I mean it was amazing. When we played Cal this past season, there was about like 50 of my family members out there. They were driving up to 8 hours to come see the game. So it was honestly just really eye-opening to see that there actually is a lot of people, family, not family, that support me and notice that it's pretty rare, and it's pretty cool that we're doing what we're doing. So
Cody, what are your thoughts?
For me, like I know you always talk about, like representing your nation and stuff. And like it's really easy to say that I'm representing my nation when I'm, playing for the national team. But I think it's really important that like when I'm playing with my club, Bayside, and any time I'm playing soccer, it's just like is we really have to step on the field with that purpose, you know,
Right.
playing for yourself, like making yourself proud, but also your family and, you know, all the people that I met there, like they're all on the islands. You never know like what opportunities they have, what differences in life they have that we don't. And I think it's really important, like, you know, just like representing like everyone that you can, you know.
Right. And so I want to ask you though too, was there a moment on your trip back to the islands, back to, putting on the shirt, putting on the training kits of the Hawaiian national team that you felt especially proud to be Hawaiian?
Yeah, I mean, I think during the games, like, you know, after we scored or something like that, going to the corner to celebrate and stuff, like
Yeah.
it really touched me. It felt really good to be part of that team, you know, a bunch of people that, you know, share the same culture as me, like, you know, relate to me in one way or another. It was really like a proud moment anytime we were, you know, celebrating or before the games, they held these picos, which are kind of just um, like traditional things before the game, you know, keep players safe, just like talking spiritually and connecting yourself with that. It made me really proud. Like there's a lot of moments in the trip.
Very nice. And Boston, I'll ask you too. I mean, Um, how do you feel to be a Hawaiian athlete, and how do you make sure that you keep your identity, your sense of identity, still within the kind of way that you play, the way that you carry yourself?
I mean, like being a Hawaiian is just like such an honor since there's only like 1% of pure Hawaiians left.
Mm.
But like I've represented them well, like through my hard work, and like I feel like I'm a very hard working person on the field. Just like represents them well. And also like last year at the futsal national, um, after we won, like I like represented the flag, like taking a few pictures with it, just like representing it well, and it got a lot of attention because like people don't really know the flag well, and they thought it was like England and stuff like that. I was just like, oh no, it's like the Hawaiian flag, like I just got the name out there more. I feel like,
Right.
and it just like really, it's like an honor to like hold the flag up and like be like it's like it really an honor to be a Hawaiian because there's not that many left.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's really important to be able to keep the culture the Hawaiian culture very much present and to a forefront. And all three of you guys seem to be able to do that in your own ways. Um, you know, when again, dealing with a lot of the conflicted history where Hawaiian history and Hawaiian culture was meant to be erased. You guys still are able to carry that on and move forward. I mean, what are the other ways that you make sure that Hawaiian culture is still present in your own lives? Maybe it's not something that was practiced by your grandparents or your great grandparents, but you guys all have your own ways of keeping the culture alive and exhibiting it in your own personal fashion. We'll go in the same order. TJ, I'll ask you first, then Cody, and then I'll defer to Boston.
Yeah, for me, it's more of a just kind of letting people know, not being, shy to tell people, like
Mm.
really just being proud of it and living through that view every single day. We eat a lot of foods that are traditional, are very, very good. My grandparents and my dad and everything, they cook very good food. I got like a bunch of leis in my room, like my dorm. So I got all those laying out when people see those, it's pretty cool. And I also have, so I know I mentioned before all my family that came out to Cal to watch. They actually brought me like a real lei of real flowers. So that was really cool. And then I dried it out and kept it in my room too, so I can see that every time I walk in. And yeah, like I said, it's honestly just living every day, like being proud and walking with your shoulders high, your head high. So it's really all it is for me.
Well said. Cody?
Yeah, it's similar for me. You know, a lot of people tell me like, "Oh, you're the only Hawaiian I've ever heard of around here," and
Mm.
I think like that's really seen as a good thing because you know with the only person that they know or like just my family being the only Hawaiian family, like it's really good to be proud of that like we're stretched all the way over here like from Massachusetts to Hawaii, like just connected still, even though we're so far. You know, being proud to be out here representing them like all the way across the nation. It's really good.
It's huge. Boston, what do you think about that?
Yeah, like to go on what Cody said, like when people mention like something Hawaiian, they're always like, "Oh, isn't like Boston Hawaiian?" Like stuff like that. Like people just like know me as the Hawaiian, and also like I think yeah, also that's like a good thing because like people with like getting the name out there, and I'm glad that like people remember that about me because it's like when I'm always taking pictures, it's like I do a hang loose because it like represents Hawaiian culture,
Right.
and like a lot of people don't know that like it started in Hawaii and stuff like that. People think it's like other cultures and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and I mean the reality of being Hawaiian and having Hawaiian culture is that it's different and it's a different relationship with the US than maybe other cultures have had. Um, so it just becomes that much more important to be able to own it, that you are of Hawaiian descent and that it's something that you are proud of. I mean, a lot of people, at least around New York and around my area, it's very heavily well, I'll say my area specifically in terms of a lot of the kids I was around. It's very Italian and Irish, and I have both those as well, Polish as well. That's my three. And I'll talk about it and it'll be something that I could tell about certain anecdotes, but it just means more to the three of you guys, both considering obviously the history of the Hawaiian people with the United States, but how there is this national team and there is this national pride, and you're not seeing Hawaiian families every day. That you guys are the Hawaiian family in the area, and it's really really nice and really pleasant to see. And now that there is this national team for you guys to be able to represent your heritage and your culture on, I think it just further elevates really the culture as a whole in terms of the beautiful game. Um, yeah, I mean, are there any thoughts really just on the last couple, just talks about the national team, how important that this really is? I'll leave it open for any one of you guys that wants to jump in. I don't want to make it too structured. I know we've gone around in order, but I'll leave it open for any one of you guys who has a couple thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'll speak. To be honest, I'm pretty jealous of Cody that he got to go out and do that. I was getting updates like the pictures and everything, and I was like, man, just looks awesome. And even like the kits, like you said too, like those kits are fire, like the sponsorship and everything. So I was pretty jealous. But yeah, no, I know Beans and I definitely want to go and take part of that one day. Whatever age I am, whatever level it is,
Mhm.
it's it's a dream of mine. So that's all I gotta say.
Huge.
Yeah, I'll just add, like, with being the one that went on the trip, like, the one thing that I can really take away is just like how nice everyone was, you know. These are people that, you know, the kids, I had small introductions to them on Zoom call, and the coaches I had a couple conversations with, but other than that, I really didn't know anyone. Like I was kind of like the outsider because I'm the only one that, wasn't from the islands and stuff. But the big takeaway is everyone was welcoming. I was friends with everyone, talking with everyone within the first like probably hour or two, and I met them. They flew in around I don't know, probably like seven into California, and by the time we were back to the hotel and just like talking, I was friends with all of them, and it really just like opens it up, shows you like the overall welcoming and uplifting culture that the entire like nation has.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll go a little bit further back onto just certain playing styles of the three of you guys, and I guess what really goes in the mindset of the three of you, again, all having had different experiences at different levels. Um, but all under the same roof. And I gotta imagine different motivations and things that keep you guys going really are different factors. So I'll start with Boston and then we'll go to Cody and then back to TJ. But tell me about your motivation to play. What keeps you stepping out onto the pitch every time, giving your 100% in game and in practice, and even when you're not scheduled for a particular practice, things you do off the field. Tell me about what's the mindset that makes you a better player every day, Boston.
I mean, honestly, like it's just like a dream of mine to go pro, and it just stays in my mind, like to make my parents proud and like get to the highest level possible, and also just like playing for my papa because he passed on my birthday in 2023. So it's just like a special day to like represent him and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to make everyone proud and stuff like that.
Thanks for telling me that, Boston. That was really sweet. And Cody, what do you think about just the drive and the will to play the game?
Yeah, it's definitely like Boston said, like making people proud, but also, making yourself proud, making it all worth it. At this point, we've all put like numerous years into this, and it's basically been our whole lives for like as long as I can remember. And like the real motivation is just like what's next? Like what can I do to be the best at this? Because really, you don't want it to go to waste. All the years, all the experience that you have at this point, like there's nothing you can do except like anything you can to get better.
Yeah, it's huge. And sometimes you struggle sometimes to figure out what is the next step or what is the next skill that you've got to develop, where your weaknesses are. I mean, can you give me a bit of insight of how you go about developing a certain skill and what is your mind? So a center back, maybe you're in better communication with your wing backs, for example, or being able to slide behind to provide a bit more support with certain guys or knowing when to take a step up. How do you build that awareness of the game?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say the biggest part is, rewatching your game film because really the only thing you can do once you're past that game is, on the way home or something, just think about anything you can that, maybe went wrong or wasn't the best. And then once that game film comes out, you look in it, you go back to those moments and you see like what you could have done better. And then, next few days during practice or individual training or even the next game, like really working to make sure that that one part is good because you're going to have, your strengths, which you've been working on consistently. And those are going to be the best parts of your game. Like you can do those without thinking. But then like it's the little things that you don't have down all the way that you really need to focus on because once you get those down, like it's just gonna keep rounding off everything else.
Huge. Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. I think you speak really intelligently on that, and I appreciate that insight. So, TJ, I'll leave this off to you. You play the college level, which is known to be very physical. You know, but give me, just your own things about how you continue to develop, adjusting to a college game that you got a single season under, but now on top of the leadership role you've got at your university and everything else under the sun, it feels like.
Yeah, it's honestly just like going off of Cody and Boston, like playing to make people proud, of course, always. And at the end of the day, it's honestly just fun for me. Like it gets, you think about every time you step on the field, if it feels like a job to you and if it's not enjoyable, you're not really gonna want to be out there. It's really just how it goes. And every time I step on the field, I try to have fun with it and it's the game I've grown up playing that I love playing. So it's very enjoyable for me, especially, being down there with great coaching staff, great players, just honestly great environment, facilities, all that stuff. I'm so blessed. So it really is just every time you step on the field, it's like, wow, like let me just, you know, give everything I got because time flies, I'll tell you. Because being the oldest, I mean, I remember being going to those MLS Next games on the weekend and playing in those tournaments during the off season, like it's just flies by. So I really try to take a step back when I step out there and appreciate it all. But from a developing standpoint, I would agree with Cody, just watching back film, but also just getting reps and playing. Because at the end of the day, like you can watch as much pro soccer and games and stuff, but if you're not out there playing and touching the ball, it's pretty difficult to not, get stagnant in your development. So
Huge. All right, so I guess my last thing that I have written down was just to ask about, what does the next few months, the next year look like for each of you guys? Just so we could get a little bit more excitement about where, what's to come for the three of you. And then, I was going to leave it from there, but if there's anything else that you guys want to continue talking about, anything that I didn't touch on, feel free to chime in and we could get back going with the conversation. But so I'll start with Boston. What do the next few months, I mean, going back to school, maybe going back into the MLS Academy. I know you're with the Revs now, but what do the next few months look like for you, man?
Honestly, like before TJ goes back, like we've been training every single day, and
Mm.
then like I said, in like the middle of July, I think there's national futsal in Orlando, so I'm gonna be going to that, and then once we like once we get back into the swing of things in preseason, I think it's like August 5th or something. So we start early, which is good, like good reps, like starting up to go in the season, and then I think it goes up from there. Like the season starts, everything like that, and then I go to a school called the Center of Excellence, which is like it's very good because you get to train in the morning, like do an extra gym session, do an extra training in the morning, and then do online school. So I think it's very good, like getting a lot of reps in and stuff like that.
Cody, I know the college recruiting. I know you're going into your junior year of high school. I mean, I've been told, and this is me as a normal, regular, not superstar soccer player representing the Hawaiian national team, but I've been told that the junior year is the hardest in terms of academics. So, tell me how you're juggling that, and then also, the rest of what's going on in the soccer world for you.
Yeah, obviously, like going back to school, you got to stay on top of it, but really it's about like keeping that balance between, school and your sport. And I think like what's really important is, with TJ being back, we've been doing training a lot, like Bino said, but as he goes back, as we take him back in like the next week, I think it's really important that, just me and Boston, we go out and we train, just us, even if it's not, if TJ's not here to help us, but it's really good to, stay at it with every opportunity you have. And, obviously, I think I told you I played in like a street soccer tournament yesterday, and just for the rest of the summer, doing extra little things, like it really does help you. And then, once school starts and the season starts up, I'm just like really looking forward to get back to playing games, in a structured environment because obviously over the summer you're free to do whatever, like any training sessions you need. But once you get back to the season, like it's really like you just got to get back at it.
And TK, last but not least, I mean, yeah, I mean, what is your leadership style going to look like as you go in for captain's practices, but also for a huge sophomore campaign for yourself as well, down with the cards.
Yeah, I'm just super excited to get back down there. I've been talking about it all summer, like just can't wait to get back. And we're honestly blessed to be able to go back down there so early. I know a lot of other schools, they wait, till late July, even August to get back to training. But luckily, we have a very determined group, and I know that a lot of guys are hungry. They want, to get after it. So we're fortunate enough to go down there um, and get to training at the beginning of July, to be honest. So it'll be nice to run those practices and to really kind of foster a culture down there of the type of team we are and the type of team that the coaches want us to be. I try to echo the coaches as much as I can, be a bridge between the two players and coaches. So it's it's been a great step for me, to be honest. It's one of those things where you're blessed to have the coaches trust you with something like that, and especially like you said, going into my sophomore year, it's a huge accomplishment for me, but it's also just kind of shows the type of character I show up with every day and try to be consistent on that front and really just excited to get back down there. But like we've been saying this whole call, we leave in 2 days to go back down there, so it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good summer grind for me and eventually leading into preseason. So I'm super excited.
Huge. Go cards.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Kentucky is red. Look, I've always thought Louisville's the best program in that area. I mean, I've got my certain pro I've got my my certain opinions, but I'll always be a big supporter of the Louisville Cardinals. That a lot of guys actually have come on the pod, so adding you to the long list of Cardinals, former Cardinals, who have come on. So thank you for that.
Yeah, yes, sir. Appreciate that.
Of course. All right, boys. I mean, it's been a pleasure talking with you guys. We've had a great conversation about a lot of stuff in each of your own lives, but I'd like to leave it for you guys. If there's anything else an anecdote, something that you want to say to someone who's going to be watching this, I really appreciate the time talking about, I mean, really the Hawaiian national team and the importance that is to the Hawaiian culture, but I mean, also Louisville, MLS Next, and really just being able to really hit it all with you boys. So. I'd like to thank you all, but again, I'll leave it open for anyone at the end of this interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say like this whole thing, like it's been really great, Danny. And I like really want to thank you just for the like purpose. I mean, getting the name of the Hawaiian national team out there, like you said, like I think it's really going to help it. You mentioned, the Drip FC and like all the media stuff, but like mainly this, it's like it's really going to help too. So I just want to thank you for that.
Of course. All right,
I
then.
also want to thank you for like reaching out to us and like getting like our names out there, not and then also the Hawaiian national team. It's just like a great like it's an honor to be on here.
Thanks, Boston.
Yeah, I'll speak real quick, Danny. We've been super excited for this since you reached out and connected with Hezi and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool just, because we've never talked face to face before this, like you said. So it's been kind of cool just sitting back and seeing like you helping us and Hezi and everybody. It's so many things like behind the scenes that are just great for the program and for us and you with what you got going on. So yeah, I know they might not say it, but we've been super excited for this and we appreciate your time.
Well, I wasn't expecting that from all three of you guys. I was expecting like some saying or whatever, but yeah, I'm messing around, but I really really appreciate that, boys. It's I've been looking forward to this for a while, and I'm not even feeling totally right, like in terms of I still got a little bit of a cough, but I knew I had to get this in for you guys, and but yeah, it's been a pleasure to be able to talk to the three of you, and I'm looking forward to the kind of magic that the Federation can bring, and the Kaho'ali boys are going to be able to do for years to come.
Definitely.
All right, I'll see you guys later, and thanks for joining us.
All right, Danny. Appreciate it.
Thank you.